I know these little guys are so far advanced compared to what we are. They may be 1,000,000 years advanced from us. You know, we don't have all that information. I don't have those answers. But I do know that many people have seen them besides me. Many people have had a similar experience. Maybe not exactly the same, but similar. So it's not just this person telling this story. And all these people have supported me, both in physical means and in spiritual means. I mean, they've given their heart. They've given me their homes to live in. They've fed me. They've clothed me. You know, if I didn't have the support from these people, I probably wouldn't be here today.
You mentioned the 500 people that had witnessed these beings. Can you go into that? Can you go into the those who have contacted you, talking about being at that lecture and seeing what they saw and trying to get a picture of the beings that appeared?
Well, I mean, the conference was being recorded, videotaped, and you know, we do have a copy of that tape. There isn't much on it except a little bit of a streak of light across the bottom. There was a recording of the crowd kind of being afraid and being startled by what was going on. Most of the people don't want to be identified, rightfully so, because when you come forward, people's lives are torn apart. But the point is, more and more people are aware. Okay? Are we going to release all of this information? Little by little. But this information, as long with others that I've kept safe, is what I believe has kept me alive. Okay? The link artifact, the device that I found. Is safely tucked away with other people. It's never with me. And if anything happens to me, everybody has so much other information about me, about what's gone on, about all of the things that are stored. This will become a much bigger problem for the people that try to keep this information suppressed. They've tried to blacklist me. They've tried to make me out as a crazy man, you know, some insane person, you know, motivated for who knows what reason. I let everyone judge for themselves. If this experience happened to you, how would you deal with it? That's the question I always ask everybody else. I am not trying to convince anybody that anything happened. I don't want to convince anybody. I'm not trying to convince anybody. I'm not trying to prove any of the evidence anymore at all. I stopped all of that 6 years ago because we had the proof. We had the scientific evidence proven. What the DNA told us, what the blood and tissue samples told us, because I took this creature home from the woods. I wrapped it up in a thermal blanket that I had and literally carried it back to my Jeep as sick as I was because it was very light, and I didn't want to leave it there. I was afraid. I thought maybe I'd murdered something. I wasn't thinking clearly. I just thought, I'm going to take it with me. And I took it with me. I drove home, and I put it in my freezer in my garage because it was a piece of meat. It was literally a dead animal. And I didn't know how else to preserve it. And many things went through my mind. It wasn't just the clear thought of, I'm bringing this to the world. Probably the biggest thought is, I want to bury this and I don't want to talk to anybody about it. You know, I didn't even want to admit to myself what had happened. And then little by little, my feelings changed. You know, I got to where I could rationalize some of this. I got to where I could think about some of this. Other people helped me. Other people were involved in reacquainting myself with this new reality. Friends, family, other people who were very supportive, people who I call the Alliance, who gave me some direction, who aided me several different ways over those first 9 days.
Your story is being told all over the world. Other countries have come to accept your story. And they want to hear more. Just talk about a little bit about how it's accepted in other countries and how it's been just like blacklisted in the States, if you can.
Well, before any of this happened, I knew very little about it. The phenomena of ufology or lights in the sky or flying saucers. I pretty much concluded that it was pretty much science fiction. Once this happened to me, once I started to realize that what had happened was real, then I started to become aware of the realities of other people and other situations, and that this has been going on for possibly thousands of years. But we just never recognized it clearly for thousands of reasons, not just one reason. I mean, whether our society would accept it, whether religions would allow it, because in some respects it can be detrimental to the foundation of a religious order. So I can rationalize why people would not want to bring this into their society, into their community. But in traveling around the world and being asked to speak about this, my own experience, I've learned that other societies, other cultures, are much more willing nowadays, in modern times, to embrace this idea, to open their minds up and be able to accept the fact that maybe we aren't the top of the food chain and the intelligence line. And I know, as well as many thousands of other people, that that's definitely true. We are not the smartest, ants on the hill, so to speak. Other people, other countries openly have accepted me. Mexico embraced my story probably more than anyone. Literally gave me the ability to become a citizen of their country, no questions asked, to have a life, a house, to put me back into an occupation that I knew that I'd been trained to do. Incredibly warm support, at the least. Other countries around the world, Japan, in Europe, many places in Europe, all support the reality of extraterrestrial or extra-dimensional life in the universe. The biggest deterrent for this information is what lies in the United States. And I ask the same question. I say, why? Why is it that the greatest country in the world, who has the greatest economy, who has been the strongest country, and on the forefront of technology, why within the United States and the United States government do we not only not talk about it or accept it, but we find every way we can to dismiss it, discredit those who ever talk about it, or make them all out to be fools? Why is that? And these are the questions I keep asking. I don't have those answers. I have a lot of speculations that other people have told me, and they go from one end of the gamut to the other. I mean, everything from conspiracy theories to the fact that some people think the United States government is in cahoots, in cooperation with extraterrestrial life of one race or another. I don't have those answers. I know what's happened to me. I know what's continued to happen to me. And I know that within the United States there is a military-type apparatus designed to squash, to humiliate, to harass, and or silence permanently people who talk and have absolute evidence. And I am probably the best example I can give of that. I know what's happened to me. I know how my life was literally torn apart within 9 days, and I left the country of the United States because I felt in fear of my life, my family, and my friends. This was not a joke. This was not an easy situation that I chose to become a flag wearer, bearer of this new truth. This was something that was thrown at me, and I literally wanted to get out of the way and run away from it. I went to community